Students, in previous lecture we were studying about the sexual reproduction in plants. Now students, here we are going to talk about the some important process that are responsible for the sexual reproduction in plants. What are that? Just come on here. Fertilization. First of all, I will take pollination. Pollination. Students, I will only define the process of pollination in the previous video lecture. Now here we are going to briefly describe about the pollination, their types, and what are the agents that helps in this important process of pollination. Students, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the flower. Stigma of the flower is known as pollination. Students, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the flower is known as pollination. Here, the pollen grains are the male gamete, and this is transferred from the anther, that is the upper topmost part of the stamen, and stigma is the upper topmost part of the female reproductive part of the flower. Thus, the transfer of the pollen grains from anther to stigma of the flower is known as pollination. Let us take a diagram to define this definition. This is the female reproductive part of the flower, that is the gynoecium, or you can also known by the name of pistil or carpel. This is the topmost part of the knob-like or somewhat flattened part of the female gamete. This is called the stigma. What is that? This is the stigma. This is tube-like, the neck of flask-like structure. This is also very narrow, and this is called the style. This is the ovary, and inside the ovary, the number of ovules are present. Ovules are eggs, are the female gamete. Now here also I draw the part of the male gamete, it means stamen. These are the stamens and present in the form of third roll of the flower. This is the anther, and this is the filament. The connective tissue helps in connecting the filaments to the anther. active tissue. And being the maturity in the anther, it get brushed out. It means it's the outermost endothelium layer gets brushed out, and the rusting like minute microspores get spread around the region, as well as they also get transferred on the stigma of the flower. If we are going to draw an enlarged shape of such type of rusting, then this has an intine and an exine membrane having a central nucleus. This is the pollen grain. What is, students? This is the pollen grain, and that is the male gadget. It is also known as the microspore. When these microspore or pollen grain transfer from anther, this is the anther and this is the stigma, from anther to stigma of the flower, this is called pollination. Okay, students, now we are going to discuss the types of pollination. Students, there are two types of pollination. The first one is the self-pollination. Self-pollination. And the second one is the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination. As the name clears that, self-pollination. It means this is the process of pollination that takes place within the same flower. How? Let's see now. What is self-pollination? Self-pollination is the process in which the pollen grains from the anther, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. To the stigma of the same flower. When such a pollination takes place, this phenomena is known as the self-pollination. Once again, students, to clear, when the pollen grains from the anther and transfer to the stigma of the same flower, this is called self-pollination. Whereas, what is cross-pollination? The cross-pollination may be defined as when the anther, here I take two diagrams of a typical flower. This is the first one, and that is the second one. The stamens, now students, here are maturity of the anther from the pollen chambers. The dispersal of the pollen grains will start. This process you can be easily observed in the mustard plant, there are lots of yellowish color rust spread over the plant of the mustard. During the cross pollination, what the phenomena take place? Here the pollen grains from a neighboring flower is transferred to the stigma of the another flower, like that. And it is also seen that the pollen grains from the neighboring flowers anthers to transfer to the stigma of the another flower. Such type of transferring of pollen grains to the neighboring flower's stigma, this is called cross pollination. Cross pollination. Is that clear? The transfer of the pollen grains, if pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the neighboring or nearby flower's stigma, it means the stigma of the another flower, then this is called cross pollination. With the help of this diagram, you can understand the cross pollination very well. Now students, what are the agents of the pollination process, or you can also call it the cross pollination process? Agents of pollination. Students, there are mainly three types of agents which are responsible for the process of pollination in plants. The first one is insects or animals. The second one is the blowing wind. And the third one is the water. Let's going to understand how the insects or other animals are responsible for the process of pollination in plants. Students, the flower bears brightly color the second row, that is called petals. Due to the bright color of the petals, the insect get attracted towards the flower for sucking nectar. And when the insect sits on the stigma of the flower for sucking the nectar, then these pollen grains get stick on the legs or appendages of the flower as well as on their wings. Further, the insects going to sit on the another flower. Then the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of another flower. Thus, students, insects are responsible for the process of cross pollination. Next, how the animals are responsible for the process of cross pollination. Students, you all of you know about the Xanthium. It is a kind of the gymnospermy, as well as the Xanthium is mainly a shrub-like angiospermic plants. Their whole body surface contains the spiny hairs, and when the animals get come in contact with such a hairy floating body, that is the seed-like structures, then they are spread on the another regions or another places. Thus, the animals being come in contact with such a type of plants helps in spreading the spores of such plants. This is the reason, that's why animals are also helpful in the transferring of gametes from one region to another. Now students, winds. The blowing winds carry away these rusting or dust like particles that are called pollen grains, and when they come in contact with the stigma of the another flower, then the pollen grains helps in the process of fertilization. Thus, this process is responsible for, it means the winds is responsible for the process of cross pollination. Now students, water. This type of pollination mainly take place in the aquatic plants like Hydra, Vallisneria, like other aquatic plants. What happens in this process? The gametophyte that bears the gametes, it means that is present on a mature sporophytic plant. When the prothallus bears antheridium and archegonium, then the antheridium and archegonium diffuse their gametes in the water, and when these gametes floating on the water to comes in contact with the gametes of another flower, then the process of cross pollination take place. In this type of cross pollination, water play an important role. That's why water is also known to be an agent of cross pollination. Now students, the another topic I will going to discuss. This is very short topic, that is the fertilization. Fertilization. Now students, what is fertilization? You all of you very well known that the fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. Students, it is of two types. The first is external fertilization. That takes place in the lower categories of organism, and the second one is internal fertilization. Then let's talk about the external fertilization. In such a type of fertilization, it takes place outside of the organism body. As this type of fertilization also takes place in the animals like in frog. The life cycle of the frog, after hatching the eggs, they excrete their eggs on the surface of the water, and the further developmental process takes place inside the water. Such type of fertilization is said to be external type of fertilization. Whereas in internal fertilization, all the gestation period, it means all the developmental process from the zygote to embryo and embryo to an individual take place inside the female's body. It means the uterus of the female. That's why such type of fertilization is known as internal fertilization. And students, if we are going to talking about the kinds of animals on the basis of internal fertilization, then there are two types. The first is oviparous. Oviparous. They are commonly called egg giving or egg laying animals. And the second one is viviparous. Viviparous. Viviparous means the animals which gave birth, the birth giving animals. Thus, students, there are two types of animals. Oviparous, it means the animals that gives eggs, and after laying eggs the individuals get developed. And next one is the viviparous, it means the animals which give birth to an individuals. Thus, students, the today's topic will be completed, and in the next topic we will going to discuss about the sexual reproduction in animals as well as the sexual reproduction in human and their reproductive parts. It means the male reproductive part and the female reproductive parts. Thanks students for joining today's lecture.